Namaste, this is Yamalika, and today's video is the 14th episode of the Mahabharata. In the previous episode, we discussed that Draupadi gave birth to 5 sons and Shubhadra also gave birth to one son named Abhimanyu. So, after that, Narada too visited Indraprastha. He examined the wonders of Mayasabha and declared that was the most grandest place he had ever seen. Even the celestial body's palace was not so grand as Mayasabha. He then said to Yudhishthira, "My dear son, as the eldest son, you must perform the Rajasuya Yajna, telling your supremacy." The idea appealed to Yudhishthira, so he inquired about it with Narada. Then Narada said, "You must send your allies to all the corners of Bharatvarsha and declare that you alone are the king of kings. If anyone opposes you, then you must defeat them in the battle." Now, after Narada left, Yudhishthira consulted this with his brothers and Krishna. Krishna was very thoughtful. He then said, "Yudhishthira, I think that you will be able to perform this Rajasuya Yajna. The only difficulty you may face is defeating King Jarasandha, the ruler of Girivraja." Then Bhima said, "Yudhishthira, you should not fear any king. Come on, let's fight. Strength alone matters." Then Yudhishthira said, "Krishna, Bhima, I am a peace-loving man and I don't want to fight with others. Let's leave this. I'm content and happy with what I have." Then Bhima said, "My dear brother, the only thing you lack is strength. You need to have the strength to defeat others." Then Yudhishthira said, "I have strength, but I am a peace-loving man." Yudhishthira and Krishna were really thinking about this Rajasuya Yajna. Then Krishna said, "Yudhishthira, I think if we defeat Jarasandha before we do the Rajasuya Yajna, then it will be easy for us to perform Rajasuya Yajna." That time Yudhishthira said, "My dear Krishna, then how do we defeat Jarasandha?" Krishna said, "I know that we can't defeat him in battle. So I think that Bhima is strong enough to defeat Jarasandha in a single combat." Bhima now swelled with pride and said, "Yes, my dear brother, what Krishna said is true. I am going to defeat Jarasandha in a single combat." Arjuna too told to Yudhishthira that, "Yes, my brother, I, Bhima and Krishna will go to Girivraja right now and defeat Jarasandha and come." Then Krishna smiled to Yudhishthira and blinked his eye. Then Yudhishthira, feeling safe that even Krishna agreed, reluctantly gave his consent for the three of them to go to Girivraja. Then Krishna said to Bhima and Arjuna, "I will tell you all the story of Jarasandha before we leave." Yudhishthira, Nakula and Sahadeva too were interested in knowing the story of Jarasandha. That's when Krishna began the story. Jarasandha's father Brihadratha had 2 wives. Those two were twin sisters. Unfortunately for him, they bore no children. So he left to the forest and started to meditate. One great sage, pleased with his devotion, gave him a magical fruit. And he said, "My dear king, I am pleased with your devotion. You may give this fruit to your wife. That time she will bear a child." Then Brihadrata thanked the sage and turned to his wives. He was a just and right man. So he said, "I will divide this fruit between you both." And he divided into equal halves and gave one half to his first wife and the other half to the second wife. Now, those two were pregnant after eating that fruit. And Brihadrata's joy when they became pregnant turned to horror when they gave birth to half of a baby. One wife gave birth to one half of a baby, while another wife gave birth to the another half of a baby. That time, all the people of the kingdom were surprised and shocked, of wondering how a woman can give birth to half of a baby. That night, as the wife slept, the midwife took the two halves of the baby, wrapped it in black cloth, and threw it outside the gates. That night, one Rakshasi called Jara was roaming hungrily. As you all know, Rakshasas and Rakshasis love human flesh. So, after smelling the baby, Jara started coming to the gates. Then she spotted two halves of a baby wrapped in a black cloth. She took it and she licked her lips. As she was about to eat it, she joined them. And what? The baby turned into one. The two halves joined. Now, Jara was shocked to see the two halves into one baby. Now, we may all forget that Rakshasas and Rakshasis may be the kindest of the kindest sometimes. Jara did not have the heart to kill a baby. She felt that she had given birth to that baby. With her inner vision, she knew that that baby was the son of the king Brihadrata. So she went to the court and gave the baby. Now Brihadrata was overjoyed. So he named the baby as Jarasandha, means joined by Jara. And thus Krishna ended the story. Now Bhima Arjuna looked puzzled, telling Krishna, "How could this be? He seems to have much strength." Then Yudhishthira said, "Krishna, let's leave about Rajasuya Yajna. I don't want my brothers to go and have risk near that great king Jarasandha." That time Krishna said, "Yudhishthira, he is a great devotee of Shiva and he has imprisoned countless of innocent kings to sacrifice them to Shiva." That time Yudhishthira then gave his consent once more. And that day Krishna, Arjuna and Bhima left for Girivraja. In my next episode, I will be telling you all how they defeated Jarasandha or whether they lost. If you really like my video, then please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.